Arianna Martell. Arianna Martell, the sister of Oberyn Martell, is a central Dornish character after Oberyn's shocking death at the hands of the Mountain. Arianna is stunningly beautiful and a young woman who has great ambition. She was originally going to be married to Viserys Targaryen, Daenerys' weasel brother, but Khal Drogo's Golden Crown put an end to all that. Arianna is horrified by Oberyn's violent death and plots revenge using Cersei's daughter, Princess Garcilla, in a complex power play that results in many startling Dornish secrets being revealed. After Oberyn's death, George R.R. Martin's Dornish subplot centers on Arianna, so it is a bit startling that she will not appear in Game of Thrones. It seems that Oberyn's consort, Elariah Sand, will take Arianna's place as the plotting Dornish woman in season 5 of the television series. It will be curious to see how Elariah, a bastard daughter of Dorne, will replace the highborn Arianna. Princess Arianna Nymeros Martell, better known simply as Arianna Martell, is a member of House Martell, is the eldest daughter of Doran Martell, the ruling prince of Dorne, and his consort, Lady Meliario, of the free city of Norvos. According to Dornish custom, she is the heiress of Sunspear and the future ruling princess of Dorne. Arianna is a POV character in A Feast for Crows and The Wind's Winner. Parents and character. As a young girl, Arianna was pudgy and flat-chested, and she would pray to the seven nightly, hoping that she would be given beauty when she was older. Now a woman in her early 20s, Arianna is buxom, big boobies, and beautiful, with olive skin, large dark eyes, and long, thick black hair that falls in ringlets to the middle of her back. She has full lips, a husky voice, and round, ripe breasts with huge dark nipples, favoring her mother, Malaria. Arianna is short, standing at 5'2". When attending to matters of politics, Arianna conceals her lush and curvaceous body with glowing silks, jewels, and other ostentatious displays of wealth. Arianna is calculating, adventurous, and fierce-tempered. When she sees something she desires, she strives to obtain it at all costs. She does not shy away from using her looks to get what she wants, nor from seducing men to get them to do her bidding, occasionally granting sexual favors in this context. Sir Iris Oakhart thinks that Arianna's nature compares more to her uncle Oberyn's than to her father Doran's. Arianna considers handsome men her one great weakness, in particular when they have an air of adventure and the forbidden. Arianna has a vivid sexual imagination and has had sexual experiences from an early age. In history, early life, born in 276 AC, Arianna was the firstborn child of her father, Doran Martell, Prince of Dorne, and his wife, Lady Malaria of Norvos. As her father's firstborn, she was Doran's heiress according to Roynish customs and Dornish laws. Ariana spent several years of her early life at the Water Garden. She had two younger brothers, but since Quentyn was sent away as a page to Ironwood at an early age, Trystane was 11 years younger than herself, Ariana was never close to them. Instead, her best companions during childhood were Audrey, known as Dre, Dalt, Doran, whose mother had been her wet nurse, Silva Santagar, and her cousin Tyene Sand. Tyene in particular was Ariana's best friend, since they were the same age and thus were as close as sisters. Ariana and Tyene shared everything, including learning how to read, ride, and dance. They even shared a flagon of wine they had stolen at the age of 10, and an early attempted sexual experience with Dre. On occasion, Ariana's older cousin, Nymeria Sand, would join Ariana and her four companions, and sometimes her cousin Sarella Sand would attempt to join them as well. Once Ariana crossed the Mandur in the Breach, when she and three of her cousins went to visit Tyene's mother. Ariana once held her young cousin Prince Rhaegar Targaryen, but she was so young at the time that she no longer remembered. She does remember her great uncle, Prince Doran Martell of the King's Guard, of whom she has cherished memories and who used to tickle her until she could not stop laughing. When Robert's rebellion ended, Ariana was 7 years old. At the age of 8, Ariana became afflicted with red spots and learned that the disease, while harmless for children, could be lethal for adults. From a young age, Ariana was half in love with her uncle, Prince Oberyn. At some point, Oberyn brought her, Tyene, Sarella Sand, and Garen to the abandoned holdfast of Shandystone. While Oberyn showed Tyene the best way to melt a snake's venom, and Sarella went exploring, Ariana sat on a rock, dreaming that a tall, hard robber knight with black eyes and a widow's peak had taken her there to have his way with her. Secret betrothal. Ariana had a close relationship with her father, Prince Doran Martell, when she was a girl. She would run to him when she had hurt herself and would go give him a goodnight kiss. However, when Ariana was 14 years old, she stumbled across a half-written letter from Doran to her younger brother, Quentyn, who was being fostered at Ironwood. In the letter, Doran stated that Quentyn would one day sit in his place and rule Dorne, suggesting to Ariana that Doran intended for her younger brother to succeed him, passing over Ariana entirely. According to her own account, she cried about her discovery for many days. Ariana longed to be a dutiful daughter, but wanted her father to show that he valued her. She began to rebel against her father in small ways. When she was still 14, she lost her virginity to Daemon Sand, the master of God's grace, an encounter which she still remembers as clumsy but sweet, and told Doran about it immediately afterwards. Doran did nothing about it, adding to Ariana's feelings that he was, quote, very good at doing nothing, unquote. In truth, Doran was only planning for Quentyn to inherit the rule of Dorne because he intended for Ariana to become Queen of the Seven Kingdoms. Unbeknownst to Ariana, her uncle Oberyn had traveled to Braavos years before, where he signed a secret marriage pact in which Ariana was betrothed to the exiled Viserys Targaryen. In return for Ariana marrying Viserys, Doran would support Viserys' claim to the Iron Throne. He once planned to reveal the truth about the betrothal to Ariana and was going to send her to Tyrosh to serve as a cupbearer to the priest cities Archon and secretly meet with Viserys. However, Doran abandoned that plan due to suicidal threats from Ariana's mother, Elariah, who was already deeply upset that Quentyn had been sent away to be fostered. Doran then planned to tell Arianna about her betrothal and his plans to help restore the Targaryens to the Iron Throne. Arianna turned 16. However, he changed his mind over time and kept the betrothal a secret from Arianna because he felt that she was too willful and feared that if he told her, she would tell her cousins, particularly Tyene, and there would be no way to ensure the secret would remain a secret. When Arianna reached the age of marriage, Doran presented her with several suitors, all of whom were elderly lords, including Ken Beesbury, Walter Frey, Giles Rosti, Eldon Estermont, and Huff Grandison, while rejecting an offer from Lord Hostertully, who had invited Arianna to travel to Riverrun and meet his heir, Edmure. Arianna refused all of the elderly suitors and asked to travel to Highgarden to meet Willis Tyrell. When Doran refused, Arianna and Tyene tried to go on their own, but were intercepted by Prince Oberyn at Bath. Another time, when Lord Renly Baratheon visited Dorne, she attempted to seduce him, but he seemed confused by her attempts and she was not successful. Because of having read the letter to Quentyn, the insulting marriage candidates Doran presented her with, and Doran's apparent coolness towards her, Arianna became convinced her father hated her. In truth, Doran presented her with the elderly lord's suitors because he feared that it would be suspicious if he did not attempt to arrange a marriage for her, and because he knew that Arianna would refuse that, which she forcefully did, thus keeping her free to marry Viserys. During those years, Arianna also had suitors from Dorne. Her friend Andre Dalt and his brother Diesel had both wanted to marry her, and her first lover, Daemosan, had even gone to Prince Doran to ask for her hand, though he was rejected. Arianna believed that her father did not wish for her to marry a Dornishman, and also realized that a bastard was not a worthy consort for a princess of Dorne. While her friendship with Daemon was never the same after her father rejected his offer, Arianna took on multiple lovers over the years, including at least one of her childhood friends, as well as Sir Gerald Dane of High Hermitage. Arianna had long been dissatisfied with her father and his style of rule, thinking him weak and vacillating. When her father moved to the Water Gardens in 298 AC, Arianna remained in Sunspear. However, instead of being made the Castellan or given a position of power, she was put in charge of, quote, feasts and frolics, unquote, while Prince Oberyn was given the highest place of power at Sunspear's court. While her uncle would visit Doran at the Water Gardens twice every fortnight, Arianna was summoned by her father only twice a year, which all further enforced her belief that her father did not want her as his heir. Recent events: A Game of Thrones. The death of Viserys Targaryen on the Dothraki Sea, commended by his sister Daenerys Targaryen's husband, Khal Drogo, puts an end to the marriage plans Prince Doran Martell had for Viserys and Arianna, and to his hope that his daughter would one day become Queen of the Seven Kingdoms. The Clash of Kings. As part of an alliance, Tyrion Lannister has struck between the Iron Throne and House Martell. Princess Myrcella Baratheon is sent to Dorne as a ward and to marry Prince Christine Martell when she turns 14. She is accompanied by Sir Aerys Oakheart of the King's Guard as her sworn shield. Storm of Swords. Lord Tywin Lannister informs his son Tyrion that Sir Aerys Oakheart has written in a letter that Myrcella and her betrothed Christine Martell get on well, that Myrcella has taken a great liking to Princess Arianna. The Feast for Crows. With Doran Martell, Prince of Dorne, away at the Water Gardens, it fell on Arianna to greet Myrcella as Sir Aerys upon their arrival at Sunspear. Arianna tried to seduce the knight, but it took half a year before she was successful. Arianna drinks moon tea to avoid pregnancy. After the death of Prince Oberyn in King's Landing, Dorne is in uproar, with Oberyn's elder three bastard daughters, Elariah, Marion, and Tyene, in particular, arguing to avenge the Red Viper. Doran, who seemingly pursues a conciliatory approach, returns to Sunspear after having spent 2 years at the Water Gardens. Upon arrival in the city, he is greeted by Arianna, who has ordered a feast prepared in his honor. Unbeknownst to Doran, Arianna has learned that her brother, Quentyn, has secretly traveled across the Narrow Sea. Arianna fears that Lord Anders Ironwood, Quentyn's current foster father, is part of the plan to make Quentyn Doran's heir, displacing Arianna. When the Golden Company breaks its contract with Myr, she fears that Quentyn might have hired them to rob her of her birthright, and that she has Doran's support. In addition, Doran has arrested the Sand Snakes, including the younger ones, and including Sarella, who is absent from Dorne, in an apparent attempt to placate the Iron Throne. To fight the supposed challenge to her own birthright, to avenge Oberyn and Elariah, and to free her cousins, Arianna puts into motion her scheme. She wants to crown Myrcella as Queen of the Seven Kingdoms, based on Dornish law, which an older sister would inherit before a younger brother, thereby participating in war for the Iron Throne and Myrcella's brother, King Thomas I Baratheon. Arianna also hopes that the Dornishmen will rally to this cause with the support of the release of Sand Snakes. Arianna assumes this would make her the inevitable choice to replace her father, whom she wants to live out his days as captive of the Water Gardens together with her brother Quentyn. During a tryst, Arianna manipulates Aerys into aiding and abetting her plan, promising that Queen Myrcella would permit them to marry, despite his Kingsguard vows. Arianna convinces Aerys that they need to act before her father brings Myrcella from Sunspear to the Water Gardens. In truth, Arianna has no intention of marrying Aerys, whom she likes but does not love. Arianna assembles her closest friends as co-conspirators to help her implement her scheme. Andre Dahl, heirs to his brother Diesel, the Knight of Lemonwood, Garen, an orphan of the Green Blood, and Silva Santigar, the heir of House Santigar. She also recruits the fierce Sir Gerald, known as Darkstar, although she does not trust him completely. Meanwhile, Aerys has the task of smuggling Myrcella out of Sunspear, using a feigned illness of the princess and her lookalike Nedley Rosamund Lannister, as well as a Sam in for himself. Arianna and the others wait for Aerys and Myrcella at the abandoned holdfast of Shandystone. From there, Arianna plans to head out to the Greensblood and travel with an orphan pole boat westward on that river and the Vaith, then continued by land. The final destination is to be Hellholt, the seat of Elariah Sand's father, Harmenfuller, where Arianna intends to crown Myrcella as Queen of the Seven Kingdoms and to raise her own banners. While waiting at Shandystone, Arianna grows increasingly wary of Darkstar, who dismisses her plan as unrealistic and alludes to killing Myrcella. When Arianna's band arrives at the Greensblood, Prince Doran's captain of guards, Ario Hupta, and a dozen guardsmen emerge from the pillow boat. Arianna and Darkstar wish to yield, but Aerys charges the guards and is killed by Ario's Longax. While Arianna falls in desperation and nausea, Gerald Dane seriously injures Myrcella, who loses a ear, then manages to escape Ario's men. While she is being arrested, Arya tells Arianna that someone betrayed her plans. Prince Doran keeps his daughter isolated within the Spear Tower in the custody of Ricasa and Sir Manfred Martell. The pleasantly appointed cell has history books, maps, and a side-base table, which Arianna does not utilize. She realizes that either Grey, Garrett, or Spotted Silva must have betrayed her, and that Aerys died in a suicide charge, which he undertook to wipe out his shame about his relationship with her. Arianna is forbidden contact with the outside world and attended by servants who will not speak to her. Her attempt to send a message to Lord Fuller is intercepted by Doran, after which Arianna begins a hunger strike. After several weeks, Arianna is brought before her father. Doran informs her that Sir Baldwin Swan of the King's Guard is traveling towards Sunspear, and Arianna realizes that Doran needs her help to convince Myrcella to lie about what has transpired. An angry Arianna reveals she had read the letter meant for Quentyn. Doran explains that the letter and his apparent inaction were part of a larger plan to avenge the deaths of Elia and her children at the sack of King's Landing. He reveals he had only offered Arianna elderly, unacceptable suitors because he had secretly promised her to another. This man has died, however, and Quentyn is on a mission for vengeance and justice for House Martell. A Dance with Dragons. Arianna is now aware of her father's plans. Doran had first intended to make her the Queen of Viserys Targaryen, with Quentyn succeeding Doran as Prince of Dorne. With Viserys having died at Vaes Dothrak, however, Doran now intends for Arianna to become Princess of Dorne, with Quentyn marrying Viserys' sister, Daenerys Targaryen, now the Queen of Meereen. At the feast welcoming Sir Balon Swan and his companions to Sunspear, Arianna sits on the right side of her father, a place of high honor. Together with Oberra, Nymeria, Tyene, and Elariah Sam, as well as Areo Hukta and half the nobility of Dorne, Arianna and Doran witness the delivery of the mountain skull. Arianna flirts with Balon, but he is not as easily distracted or seduced from his duty as his sworn brother Aerys Oakheart was. Arianna has convinced Myrcella to lie to Balon and claim that Aerys was slain by Sir Gerald Dane. Doran has planned for them all to travel to the Water Gardens, where Myrcella is staying and where Balon can learn from Myrcella what Gerald has done. According to Doran's plan, Myrcella is to plead with Balon to bring Gerald to justice. After Doran reveals to the eldest three sand snakes what their respective roles in his plans will be, Arianna wishes them well and remains with her father after they leave. Doran tells Arianna a fleet has taken to water from Lys. Unbeknownst to the Martells, the fleet from Lys carries not Quentyn and Daenerys, but Aegon Targaryen and the Golden Company, who invade the Stormlands. After having failed to marry Daenerys, Quentyn dies from dragonfire in Meereen. The Winds of Winter. Doran Martell receives a letter from Lord John Connington revealing the survival of Elia's son, Aegon Targaryen. Doran sends Arianna to discover the truth about Aegon and John. She travels with several companions, including her new sworn shield, Sir Daemon Sam, Joss Hood, Gerald Shells, Nate, Jane Ladybright, and her cousin Elia Sam. They visit Ghost Hill and take ship to the Stormlands. Quotes by Arianna. Arianna to Aerys. Are you certain you are not off to some other bed, some other woman? Tell me who she is. I will fight her for you, bare-breasted, knife to knife, unless she is a sand snake. Yes, so we can share you. I love my cousin as well. Ares, you know I have no other woman, only duty. Ariana then says, that poxy bitch. I know her. Dry as dust between the legs, and her kisses leave you bleeding. Ariana and Ares Oakheart. Do you see the white star, Quentin? That is the Marius star, burning bright, and that milky band behind her, those are 10,000 ships. She burned as bright as any man, and so shall I. You will not rob me of my birthright. Anger was bitter than tears, better than grief, better than guilt. Someone told someone she had trusted, Ares Oakheart, had died because of that, slain by the traitor's whisper as much as by the captain's axe. The blood that had streamed down Marcella's face, that was the betrayer's work as well. Someone told someone she had loved. That was the cruelest cut of all, thoughts of Ariana. I was a foolish, willful girl playing at the game of thrones like a drunken rolling dice, thoughts of Ariana. Pretty boys had ever been her weakness, particularly the ones who were dark and dangerous as well, thoughts of Ariana. Quotes about Ariana. Remember, she is Dornish. The reach, men said it was the food that made Dornish men so hot-tempered, and their women so wild and wanton. Fiery peppers and strange spices heat the blood she cannot help herself. Thoughts of Ares Oakheart. Marcella to the Kingsguard. Marcella says, is the elder and better suited to the crown, who will defend her right, if not her. Kingsguard, my sword, my life, my honor, all belong to her, and to you, my heart's delight. I swear, no man will steal your birthright whilst I still have the strength to lift the sword. I am yours. Ares Oakheart to Ariana. As a side note, when Elariah Martell, who had been captured by Queen Cersei at the season 7, to watch her very own favorite daughter, Tyene, be poisoned by the same Dornish poison by the kiss to the lips as it was done to Queen Cersei's daughter, Marcella. This gives now Ariana a chance to have the throne of Sunspear, and because of the simple fact that she has more claim to it than Elariah does, and to which Elariah either has to yield or she is rescued, or eventually Elariah dies in the dungeons of the Red Keep. Ariana Martell conclusion. It caused quite a stir among fans when Ariana Martell was cut from Game of Thrones, the oldest child of new Season 5 character Doran Martell, by Alexander Siddig. In the books, Ariana is heir to the throne of Dorne, despite having two younger brothers, because the Dornish don't care for primogeniture, thank you very much. Further, Ariana is a POV character and a major player in A Feast for Crows. Cutting her out, said some, deprived the show of both its most feminist plotline and of an oasis of relative gender equality amidst all the sexual violence and oppression of women in the rest of the show. Given that the official cast description of Ariana's brother Christine lists him as the heir to Dorne, not to mention the tiny matter of her not being cast, she is unlikely to make her small screen debut, but she's not the only Martell that happened to. This is an update just to let Game of Thrones fans know that even though HBO did cut out Princess Ariana of Dorne, House of Sunspear, there would be a slight change upon such a time that a remake of the Game of Thrones would occur. Yes, Kingslayer, Jaime Lannister, and Bronn do somewhat a sneak invasion to Dorne to get Princess Myrcella at request of Queen Cersei and bring her back. And yes, they do get surrounded because Princess Myrcella doesn't want to leave Christine. And if everyone remembers, Ahota and some of the guards surround them all and they all get arrested. Well, while Tyene is very flirtatious in a very naughty way, she also tells Bronn that at the time they were surrounded, she gives him the kiss of death, but he is able to sweet talk his way out of dying and he gets the antidote. As he is released, of course, everyone remembers he is reunited with Jaime, and Prince Doran has made a certain term of agreement that he can take Princess Priscilla, but Trystane must accompany uh, Princess Priscilla to King's Landing. Of course, both the young, soon-to-be newlyweds wait to see what Kingslayer decides. Eventually, he does decide on this, and either it was an apology or something was expected of Princess Elariah. Remember, she's now the widow and former wife of the deceased Prince Oberyn, who was the champion for Tyrion because King Joffrey had been poisoned. Had Princess Myrcilla lived, she would have been the first Baratheon queen to sit the Iron Throne of Swords for the realm of the kingdoms. Unfortunately, Princess Elariah still has her grievance about her husband, Prince Oberyn, having been defeated by one called the Mountain. Not only that, but she also remembers that Prince Oberyn had a very grievance against the House of Lannisters, and because Jaime is a Lannister, because it was Tywin who hired the Mountain, and another one known as Sir Armory Lorge, who not just murdered the Princess Rhaenys, a daughter, and young child, Aegon, who would have been the sixth, a newborn child of his sister Elariah, who was the wife and princess to Prince Rhaegar of Dragonstone. So she hasn't forgotten any of this, and symbolically she dumps her wine out. She has a very great hatred for the Lannisters. In the end, she gives Princess Myrcilla, unknowingly to Princess Myrcilla, the kiss of death, but with no antidote. She in turn takes the antidote, as Tyene would have while she's in lockup, and as the ship sails on, of course, eventually Princess Myrcilla dies in Jaime's arms. Bronn, after a assassination of Trystane is done by two of the Sand Snakes, discovers Prince Trystane's body in his chambers. Meanwhile, Princess Elariah, widow and former wife of Prince Oberyn, gives Prince Doran a note, and as he reads it, realizes that there's some treachery afoot. But before he can ask questions, as he has his suspicions now, because he already warned her of such treachery, she stabs him in the chest, and he is now killed. The other Sand Snake, Tyene, of course, kills Ahota because she's under the command to do so. Now, Princess Arianne is on this mission, which HBO would, of course, never reveal, to find out if the rumor written by an exiled knight, Sir Lord or whatever Connington, had sent to Prince Doran, that in fact Aegon the VI, the newborn baby, was not only switched by one known as Lord Varys, and both Lord Varys and Magister Ilario, who at the time was taking care of Daenerys Stormborn Targaryen and Viserys II Targaryen, had revealed to him. But he's also infected with grayscale, and unfortunately he probably won't make it anyway because nobody has the cure that Samuel Tarly finds for Jorah Mormont. In the meantime, Princess Arianna knows that, as we had covered earlier, are on this mission to find out if the rumor is true and if she will find him in Stormlands. Little does Princess Arianna know, because she probably still thinks Prince Doran, her father, is still alive, that he has been murdered by Princess Elariah. Sam. And though she probably wouldn't care too much about Horta anyway, because her best friend and cousin Tyene was only following orders, there'd probably be a little reprimand to her own cousin. But she will make her debut, probably not till after the Great White Walker War, which would be concluded in Season 8, Episode 6 by HBO. This means then that she will make a debut when she returns. Princess Elariah, of course, would have been rescued from the Red Keep because Arya Stark has already killed the last one on her list, which was the ruling queen, Cersei, while the Hound took care of his own monstrous brother who was risen or transformed in such a way to be a bodyguard to Queen Cersei. So there will be hell to pay, and this will all come about in a soon coming movie script that I'm writing called Game of Thrones: Return of the Dragon Queen. Wyman Manderly. Wyman Manderly was a loyal banner to Ned Stark, who protects Winterfell with staunch diligence. House Manderly tries to take Winterfell back from Theon Greyjoy and pretends to join with the Boltons after the Red Wedding. Secretly, Wyman plots against Roose and Ramsay Bolton, and even joins forces with Sir Davos. It seems that Wyman, who is oftentimes dismissed as soft and simple, has been playing a game of his own in secret, and has plans for the missing Rickon Stark. Wyman Manderly has yet to appear on television, so it will be interesting to see how the show deals with Rickon and Davos subplot. Unfortunately, and as an update, this had never came to pass. Wyman Manderly is the head of House Manderly. He has two sons, Willis and Wendell, and has been a widower for 8 years. His titles include Lord of White Harbor, Warden of the White Knife, Shield of the Faith, Defender of the Disposed, Zest, Lord Marshal of the Mander, and Knight of the Order of the Green Hand. The television adaptation, Game of Thrones, is portrayed by Sean Blowers. Appearance and character. Wyman is so fat he can no longer ride a horse and must be carried in a litter, leading to the name Lord Too Fat to Sit a Horse. He is nearly 60 years old, with a massive belly and fingers the size of sausages. That almost sounds like Aegon the VI, who got so fat for having too many paramours. In fact, if we remember quickly from the Targaryen Genealogy 101, Aegon the IV, which brought shame to the House Targaryen, had over 900 whores and wenches, and of the 900 plus women, he only selected 9 that were his favorite. So there is a coincidence about someone being that obese. Wyman is amiable and has a loud, booming laugh. He is mocked by his own people as Lord Lamprey. By his own admission, and because of his physical appearance, Wyman is seen by many as craven and foolish. However, this is a clever front, and he is shrewd, calculating, and intelligent. He is also staunchly loyal to House Stark. In history, Wyman loved to ride horses as a boy, and he won some small acclaim in the lists when he was a young man. However, he has grown too big to ride. Wyman has been a widower since about 291 AC. Wyman participated in the Battle of the Trident during Robert's Rebellion. He granted the Wolf's Den to Sir Artemis after the latter saved Wyman's life in the battle. Recent events: The Game of Thrones. While in King's Landing, Lord Eddard Stark asked his wife, Lady Catelyn Stark, to instruct Lord Wyman to strengthen the defenses of White Harbor and keep them well garrisoned. Wyman meets Catelyn when she comes ashore at White Harbor after her return from the Eyrie. He stays to command the defense of the city when Robb Stark calls his banners. He sends his 2 sons, Willis and Wendell, in his absence. A Clash of Kings. Wyman comes to Winterfell to partake in the harvest feast, bringing a retinue of knights, retainers, and entertainers. To Bran Stark, Sir Roderick Castle, and Maester Lewin, he proposes to mint new coinage for Robb, the new king of the north, and a new war fleet for the north. He also offers himself or his son, Wendell, as a possible new husband for the widowed Lady Dornella Hornwood. Despite his size, he dances gracefully with Beth Cassel during the harvest feast. When Ramsay Snow, the bastard son of Bolton, kidnaps and forcibly marries Lady Hornwood, Wyman moves quickly to seize Hornwood and prevent House Bolton from having it. In response to Theon Greyjoy's capture of Winterfell, Wyman sends a dozen barks packed with knights, war horses, and siege engines up to the White Knight to join Sir Roderick Castle's army. However, these Stark loyalists are betrayed by Ramsay and House Bolton in the Battle of Winterfell. Storm of Swords. While traveling in the Wolfswood, the crippled Bran Stark recalls that during the harvest feast, Lord Wyman looked at him with less pity than other northern lords. However, Bran does not know if White Harbor is safe from the Boltons, and he decides instead to find the three-eyed crow beyond the wall. Wyman's heir, Sir Willis, is captured by Sir Rhaegar Clegane in the fighting at the fords of Trident. The second son, Sir Liddell, dies along with King Robb as the twins during the Red Wedding. A feast for crows. King Tommen I Baratheon's small council learns that Wyman has imprisoned Lord Davos Seaworth, an envoy of Stannis Baratheon. The Queen Regent Cersei Lannister orders Lord Manderly to execute the Onion Lord. It is later reported to Cersei that Wyman has had Davos executed. Members of House Frey testify that they have seen his head, confirming Wyman's claim. In return, Cersei ordered her brother, Sir Jaime Lannister, to release White Willis from captivity at Harrenhal. A Dance with Dragons. Stannis Baratheon sends a letter from Castle Black to White Harbor demanding fealty to him as king. Wyman responds with obfuscation, speaking of his age and infirmity. Jon Snow informs Stannis that Val would refuse to marry Wyman. Robert Glover comes to White Harbor to try raising them, but it's believed that Lord Manderly is refusing his pleas. Lord Davos Seaworth arrives to treat with Wyman on behalf of Stannis, and he is brought before him at the Merman's court. A large audience is present, with three Freys attending: Rhaegar, Sibba, and Jared, as well as the family of his surviving son, Willis. In return for the freedom of Willis, the Lord has paid a ransom of 3,000 dragons. At peace with the Iron Throne, Wyman agrees to marry the daughter of Lord Walter Frey and to marry his granddaughters, Winifred and Wyella, to Rhaegar and Little Walter Frey, respectively. Wyman also agrees to relinquish his claim to Horton. When Wyella speaks in favor of Davos, saying they should join Stannis' vengeance and that she will not marry the Frey, Lord Wyman threatens to send her to the Silent Sisters. Rhaegar consults Robb, claiming he has a vile dog who dies like one, and that Tommen I Baratheon is the rightful king. Wyman agrees with him. After Wyman hears Davos' plea to join Stannis' cause, he orders his cousin, Sir Wyman Manderly, to have Davos executed due to his loyalty to House Lannister, the Iron Throne, and his faith in the Frey's explanation of the Red Wedding being Robb's work. Instead of executing Davos, Wyman has executed another prisoner who resembled Davos in the Onion Lord's place and sends Davos to the Wolf's Den, a prison in White Harbor. The other prisoner's head and hands are removed, dipped in tar, and the unnamed prisoner's fingers are removed in order to make the remains, which are displayed in public, look truly like Davos's. Once the Freys informed Cersei's small council that Lord Manderly ordered the execution of the Onion Lord, the Iron Throne returned Willis from captivity. During the celebration feast welcoming Willis home to White Harbor, Wyman meets secretly in the new castle with Davos and Robert. He apologizes for the way in which Davos had been treated, tells him he agrees with Wyalla about his death. White Harbor hopes the Starks, and explains he is acting cowardly to deceive the Lannisters' Freys. He claims there are spies around him, not trusting Maester Theomore, who was born a Lannister of Lannister. Wyman learned from Wex Pike, a survivor of the sack of Winterfell, Ramsay Bolton was responsible for the massacre. Wyman promises Davos he will swear allegiance to Stannis if Rickon Stark is retrieved from Skycoast. Wyman leaves White Harbor to attend the wedding of Ramsay to Arya Stark with an armed escort. Before doing so, he gifts his three Frey guests a pale palfrey each. Gifts are given to guests when they leave their host's protection. meaning they are no longer under the protection of guest right. The Frey envoys disappear while en route to Barley. Wyman claims the Freys rode ahead of him, being that he cannot ride a horse, and instead travels slowly by barge and litter. The knights Hostine and Amy Frey suspect the distraught Wyman of foul play. Lord Roose Bolton, the new Warden of the North, moves his son Ramsay's wedding from Barley to Winterfell. Wyman brings a huge supply of food, but no hostages, which unsettles Roose. At the wedding feast, the jolly Wyman calls out songs for Abel to sing. He serves 3 huge pies himself, the first portions to Roose and Walden Bolton, and the next to the sons of Lord Frey, Hostine, and Ames. Wyman asked Abel to sing of the rat cook, probably to make violators of guest right comfortable. Roose does not eat or drink anything unless he sees Wyman taste it first. Among the snowmen that squires build along the battlements of Winterfell, one resembling Wyman is the fattest snowman Theon Greyjoy has ever seen. Several men at arms in the castle are murdered, and once Theon is dismissed as a suspect, suspicion is cast upon Wyman, ordering the deaths. When little Walter Frey is murdered, Hostine accuses Wyman, who denies the charge, yet at the same time insults House Frey, which causes an enraged Hostine to attack Wyman. Lord Manderly's throat is nearly slit open, but his knights intervene, and Wyman's wounds are treated by Maester Metric. Roose orders Wyman to have his men march on Stannis from Winterfell's east gate. Quotes by Wyman. If I had thought to see war again in my lifetime, I should have eaten a few less eels. Wyman to Catelyn Stark. King Robb has no more loyal servant than Wyman Manderly. Wyman to Roderick Castle. By treating with liars, even an honest man must lie. Wyman to Davos Seaworth. I am fat, and many think that makes me weak and foolish. Wyman to Davos Seaworth. My son Wendell came to the twins a guest. He ate Lord Walter's bread and salt, and hung his sword upon the wall to feast with friends. They murdered him. Murdered, I say, and may the phrase choke upon their tables. I drink with Jared, Jake with Simon, and promise Rhaegar the hand of my own beloved granddaughter. Never think that means I have forgotten. The North remembers, Lord Davos. The North remembers, and the mummers' force is almost done. My son is home. Wyman to Davos Seaworth. The wolf will prove the boy who we say he is, should the dead lord attempt to deny him. That is my place, Lord Davos. Smuggle me back my liege, Lord, and I will take Stannis Baratheon as my king. Wyman to Davos Seaworth. The best pie you have ever tasted, my lord. Wash it down with arbor gold and savor every bite. I know I shall. Wyman to Roose Bolton, Hostine Frey, and Amy Frey. Though mayhaps this was a blessing, had he lived, he would have grown up to be a Frey. Wyman on little Walter Frey. Quotes. The great pig Manderly was too craven to leave White Harbor, or we would have brought him as well. Ramsay Snow, after displaying the bodies of Roderick Castle, Leopold Tallhard, and Clay Serwin. If one head was enough to appease a prince of Dorne, a bag of them should be more than adequate for a fat Northman wrapped in sealskins. Cersei Lannister's thought this.